For more than 50 years, Title I has been a pillar of the federal education program. It provides $16 billion a year for 21 million lower-income students. Its goal, to make education equal for all children. When President Lyndon Johnson signed it into law, he said Title I would bridge the gap between helplessness and hope. But according to a Stanford University study, the gap in test scores between the richest and poorest families is actually getting wider. It's growing by as much as 50% between the 1970s and the early 2000s. Nora Gordon is an associate professor of public policy at Georgetown University. She's also a member of the Department of Education's expert panel on Title I. It's so nice to have you with us. So explain what Title I exactly is and what it was meant to do.
Title I is a federal grants program. It's part of the education law, and it's a way to send money to high-poverty schools. The goals of the program have sort of evolved over time, and so from the war on poverty to these goals of closing achievement gaps. And those are pretty lofty goals when, even though $16 billion sounds like a lot of money, it's less than 5% of all the money that's spent on education.
But the original goal, and the goal consistently has been, figure out how to elevate poor children.
Absolutely.
And make them competitive with their richer peers.
That's been the goal of the program. It directs money based on child poverty through 4 somewhat convoluted formulas. And then once school districts have that money, they allocate it to their poorest schools. They have some discretion in how they make that choice. And there's a lot of state and local discretion in how they spend that money.
It seems to me that a big chunk of this Title I money, like 20%, so almost $3 billion, ends up in school districts that actually have a very high percent or even a higher percent of wealthier families.
So one big criticism of Title I over the years has been that it spreads its money thinly so that everyone, gets to bring something home.
And that was sort of how to make it politically viable. So let's get into the convoluted formulas. Is it because the formulas for how to give out the money are complicated, or is it the discretion part of the money that is really messing up how Title I could work best?
There's both pieces that really matter. How the money is allocated, both how big is the pie and how is it sliced up? The formulas slice it up. And how do states and school districts make those decisions?
How are Title I funds generally used? I know in the school, when I was in public school, everybody always wanted smaller class size, like smaller class size, so that the teacher was teaching fewer students. Is that generally how the money's used?
That is sometimes used. It's not how it's most commonly used. So it is permissible to use Title I funds for class size reduction. The most common things that schools do with Title I money, it is instructional staff. So whether they are buying teachers or instructional support staff, specialists, interventionists, and the most common places for this are for reading and math. But there are many other ways that schools could be using their Title I if they wanted to use it to fund a positive behavioral intervention, they wanted to support a new socio-emotional curriculum. They could be doing that, even though they may not all know that.
What kind of reforms would you advocate for?
I would like to see changes in the formulas so that you can concentrate the funds more in the poorest schools rather than spreading it so thinly. And so that's a change that Congress would need to make. It's very hard to imagine how you can get the votes. The formulas are so complicated that when it's time for reauthorization and Congress is considering changes to them, members of Congress can't even understand how a change in the formula would affect their district, so then they ask the Congressional Research Service to run the estimates for them to see, will my state win or lose with this change before I can get on board with it? So it's a real political challenge to think of changing those formulas, but I think it's necessary for the program to really have impact.
Professor Nora Gordon, it's so nice to have you. Thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.